What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the not-so-world-famous Tightlines podcast hosted by me, Tyler Plackey. In this episode, we've got a long one, you guys. I bought the Tackle Talk Podcast Essentials tackle box from Dark Horse Tackle. It is a mystery box put on by Andrew Hayes from Tackle Talk Podcast in conjunction with the Dark Horse Tackle Box Company. Today we will talk price, we'll talk lures, value, shipping times, and so much more on this episode, so you can decide for yourself if you want to buy this box. Also, if you want to see the full unboxing, which we're going to talk through it here, but if you want to actually see the unboxing and see everything, go ahead and run over to my YouTube. I'm recording this on Monday, September 29th, and it dropped this morning, so go ahead and check it out on there. So yeah, if you want to see all the baits as well, it's over there. But without making you guys wait any longer, let's get right into this episode, which again, it's going to be a long one, so strap in. So the first thing I will do here is I'm going to tell you about the ordering process. Then we'll talk shipping time, then we'll break down each individual bait, again, talking brand, price, color, weight and size, other information, what I think of them, and then I'll tell you any other cool things in the box, and finally how much I paid for the whole thing. So starting off with the buying and ordering process, it was really, really simple. I went onto the darkhorsetackle.com website, and it's like the first thing that pops up. You click on the page. It's each picture of Andrew Hayes himself. It links you to the page to buy the box, add it to cart, put in my info, and hit order. I ordered this on Tuesday, September 16th of 2025, around 9 a.m. It was expected to deliver the following Monday out of Pennsylvania, and I'm here in central Indiana. Like I said, it shipped out of Pennsylvania, and September 19th, 2025. So 3 days later on that Friday at 10:30 a.m., I was sitting at home, and guess what? There it is at my door. I was like, holy crap. 73 and a half hours later, I did the math, 73 and a half hours later, that box had shown up, and I was like, you guys got to be kidding me. This was as fast as anything I order on Amazon. So to start off the whole thing, the ordering process and getting it to my door, I was impressed. It was super quick. It was super easy, but I was pumped. So I get the box and I look at it, and my first thought is, this box is kind of small. But don't worry, there's nothing wrong with it. So on top, I'm holding the box here, is a big sticker that says Tackle Talk Bass Essentials, brought to you by Dark Horse Tackle, with Andrew Hayes' signature and the Tackle Talk logo. On the front of it, it says supporting small American businesses, and then you've got a logo somewhere else, I thought, and then obviously your sticker, your shipping label on the bottom. It's taped shut very nicely. It's a nice quality. It feels like a decent box. That's not too important. But I do appreciate that they have it in nice packaging. It kind of looks good. You open it up, you get the box, and you look at it, and you're excited for it, and you open it up, and it looks great. So what happens when you open it? First thing you see when you open it is on the underside of the lid, it says the baits, and then it lists off every bait in here. It gives you a really cool, shows the logo from each company, which is really cool. It tells you the name of the brand, it tells you the name of the lure itself, it tells you how many are in the pack, and it tells you the price. And we'll cover all that as we get through it. Underneath that, though, which is really cool, is a pamphlet from Mr. Andrew Hayes himself. And we're going to go over it. So on the front of it, and again, if you guys want to see all this, go ahead over to YouTube. It's all there. On the front, it's a picture of Andrew holding a nice smallmouth. It says Andrew Hayes, Ohio angler, and host of the Tackle Talk podcast. And it's got his logo again saying Tackle Talk Bass Essentials. And you open it up. On the left side, here's what it says. Congratulations. Welcome to Tackle Talk Podcast Bass Essentials Box. This exclusive Dark Horse Tackle and Tackle Talk podcast collaboration was curated to be a complete tackle box built to take on all types of bass fishing. No matter what type of bass you're targeting or where you're targeting them, this box has it all. Inside this box, you will find over, and then it's going to say the value, and we're going to save that for the end, worth of high-quality hand-picked baits from some of the best small businesses in America. Whether you're a beginner or savvy veteran, the Tackle Talk Bass Essentials box is full of proven fish catchers destined to be the cornerstones of your first complete tackle box, or simply beef up your current collection. Sorry, I was trying to figure out if that's a destined or designed for a second. It's a little dark in here as I'm recording. He goes on to say, and you'll notice in true Tackle Talk fashion, we kept it simple. We chose the sizes, colors, and techniques that will catch fish, not fishermen. We know the recipe. We've gathered the ingredients. All you need to do is add water, which that's kind of funny. I'll give him that. On the following pages, you will find some helpful information to streamline your enjoyment of this box. I've included my preferred rod and reel setups, preferred bait pairings, and seasons I would focus on for each bait. I hope these baits serve you well. Get out there, have fun, and of course, give them the beans. Sincerely, Andrew Hayes. And then it's another picture of him with a absolute football of a fish. Then he talks about each one, and we'll talk about each lure's season. He talks about the seasons. Talks about how he pairs the soft plastics that are in here with what tackles in here. And then on the back, it goes into the two combos he would throw. Spoiler alert, one of them is like a 7-foot to 7.3 medium heavy fast casting rod. The other one's a 7-foot medium fast spinning rod. Pretty simple stuff. If you guys listen to the podcast, it's like the two combos I always talk about. It's just your all around combo. So none of these you really need like any heavy duty, super crazy stuff. So that's what we got from Andrew. And then under that Andrew, that's funny. Underneath that pamphlet from Andrew is a thank you note from Dark Horse Tackle. And it's handwritten. It says, Dear Tyler, and then it includes a $5 gift card code to the website, which is cool, and I've already used it. But it says, your $5 gift card code is blank, and then I've also emailed your gift card code to you. Thank you for choosing Dark Horse Tackle, and good luck out there. And then Zach Fuller, the co-owner, signed in and says, come back soon. I think that's a cool little touch. Putting a little handwritten note in there saying thank you for ordering it. That's just a cool thing to do. Makes you feel good about it. It makes you feel like they care about you. For those of you that don't know Dark Horse Tackle, they are a mystery tackle box. They do subscriptions. You can buy them outright. But it's only from American-made companies, small American-made companies. And so that's why it's really cool. So we've talked about all this. After that, there is a sticker with their logo, and I put that on my tackle box, which was cool. And finally, we get to the baits. So what did we get? So I'm going in order from how I opened them up. Again, if you want to see all this, go ahead over to the YouTube channel. But we're going to talk about each bait. Again, we're going to talk color, size, weight, price, my thoughts, and any other kind of cool information that I've got on it. So starting off with the first bait in the box, and I'm going to be sitting here holding them and talking through them with you. So sorry if I'm making a lot of noise. I got all of them on my desk. The first one comes from, it's called Picasso Lures, and it is a company. It doesn't say where they're out of on here that I could find. But again, these are all American-made companies, and it's called the Shockwave Pro, which is their take on a chatterbait. So the color I got this in was Gizzard Shad with a nickel blade, and guys, this color is insane. It's a 3/8 ounce chatterbait. It was $11.65 is what the retail price is on this chatterbait. So sitting somewhere between a regular chatterbait and a jackhammer. And guys, the color on this, I wish you could see it. And again, if you want to, and you can see it, head over, go to the YouTube channel, and check it out there. Guys, it's such a great color. I've still yet to open this out of the package, just because like the cardboard backing packaging, so it's not like a resealable package. And I haven't taken it out because I haven't used it. But guys, this thing looks insane. It's really nice packaging. It's got a foam insert behind it to hold everything in place, so it's not just rattling around everywhere. Looks like it has a nice double bait keeper on the hook. From what I could tell, to keep your soft plastics on. You can use soft plastic swim baits that are maybe hint, hint, wink, wink in this package as a trailer. You can use other plastic trailers that you like, but it's got a really nice size. I believe it's got a 3/0 or maybe a 4/0 hook on it. It doesn't say what brand hook, but it is a patented shock blade from Picasso Lures. So this is a really cool take on a chatterbait from a small company. Again, I have yet to fish this one, so I can't tell you how it performs, but if it performs half as good as it looks, and the head design's a bit different, the way it connects the blade to the head's a little bit different, so it's really cool. It looks like this ought to actually catch us some fish. I like the coloring. And also the season to use this in, let's go ahead and pull that up if we can find it. This is designed to use in the summer. So we want to use this in the summer, not in the fall like I would think. He likes to use this in the summer. So that's our first bait, again, at $11.65. The 3/8 ounce Picasso Lures Shockwave Pro in Gizzard Shad. So the next thing we have in the box we get some BKK Armor Point EWG hooks. And it comes in the case, actually fits into their OCD packaging if you want. If you buy the big OCD box from BKK, the big organizer, you don't have to buy it. It just comes in a nice package. So it's a set of 3/0 EWG hooks from BKK. Again, Armor Point with, there's 6 of them. So it's made for baits between 3.5 and 4 3/4 inches. So somewhere between 9 and 12 centimeters. It's designed for Senkos, shad, and then even some trick worm, sorry. $5.99 for a 6-pack of hooks is actually a pretty good deal. About $1 of hooks, not terrible, especially for BKK. And it comes again in a nice resealable plastic container. I've yet to open these because I haven't had a need for them yet. But a nice resealable plastic container that I'll probably use in the future anyways. And it fits into, like I said, their OCD tackle organizer. My thoughts on this, I think it's a good brand of hooks. It's nice to include quality hooks in here. I'm glad that they're not just throwing in some cheap Chinese crap. They're actually throwing in some good BKK hooks. Again, come in that hard closable plastic container, which is nice to keep them all organized. They're going to be good to mix with some of the soft plastics we're going to talk about later. Other info on the box from here, it's made from apparently high carbon or hyper carbon steel. Claims to be 20% stronger and 30% harder. So yeah, some pretty interesting stuff. Not an American made thing, obviously. But kind of nice that they're using BKK hooks. At least they're using some decent, some decent quality hooks. They're not just cheaping out, giving me some crappy hooks. So pretty pumped about that. Again, 6-pack of 3-aught hooks for $5.99. So next underneath that, we get more BKK hooks. And this time we're getting a 6-pack of BKK Predator WG drop shot and wacky rig hooks. So going along with the theme of what we've got in here that we'll get to in a bit, these are here for a purpose along with the other hooks. It's a 6 count of number 1 sized hooks at $3.99. My thoughts are very similar again to the WG hooks. Nice hooks to be included. They're not in the OCD box. They're just in a normal, just like plastic like container like you normally get hooks in. So nothing crazy, but it's kind of cool on the back. It shows you actually how to rig the drop shot and the wacky rig if you don't know how to. Because again, this could be for beginners or for people that are really into bass fishing. Nice to include BKK hooks and not just some cheap, crappy brand. So again, $3.99 there for those. So moving on from there, we're going to go into our next baits. We're almost done with terminal tackle. We have some terminal tackle still coming up, but a lot of baits coming up. So next we go into, it's called the 70s Popstar Popper. Okay, it's a topwater popper called the 70s Popstar by Robusto Custom Lures. This is a 2.75 inch floating popper. It is 0.4 ounces. It is a 1-knock rattle, and it is in the bone color. It's really nice hand painted eyes on here, a really nice mouth color, and really overall just a good popping shape. I expect this to work very well. It looks very nice. Got a good color. I like the inclusion of bone. As you guys know, for me, my top water, I like bone and I like black, and then sometimes like a shad pattern, but typically just bone and black. It's just kind of all you really need for top water. I don't like all these crazy blues and purples and reds and oranges. I don't think they're necessary. I think keeping it simple is what really works on top water. Haven't used it yet, so I'll be excited to try it out, but I think the hooks are going to be great. We got BKK hooks on here. You have a number 6 on the front, and on the back, say number 6 dressed hook, so it actually has a little bit of dressing on the back, some like feathering and stuff, which is really good. But yeah, it looks to be a really nice bait. Ought to really do the trick for me, and this comes in at $13.49, so I believe this is our second most expensive bait. This is an expensive popper, but it's, again, hand-painted by Robusto Custom Lures. And guys, it looks really good. So please, go after you listen to this, go check out the YouTube video so you can see all these lures. These lures are killer looking. They really do look good. Moving on from there, we're going to our top water. We're staying in the top water. And we're going to the Croc-O-Gator brand. And this is going to be, it's called the Head Knocker Buzzbait. So this is a cool designed buzzbait where the actual blade on top is designed to knock into the head of the buzzbait. It's a skirted buzzbait, doesn't have like a soft plastic on it. It's supposed to just add a little bit of extra sound for the bass. This specific one comes in the black color. It's a black one in a 3/8 ounce. And it comes in $8.49 for this buzzbait, which really isn't terribly priced. It's a cool design and idea. It kind of plays well off like the Booyah, like clacker ones that they have, where it has like the one little like thing on like the upshaft where it like allows the blade to run into it and make extra noise. But it's kind of a different concept. The only thing I'm worried about is the paint scratching on top. Not sure if that's going to just scratch the paint off over time, if it's going to bend out or back in fighting fish where the blade may not work properly. I'd be intrigued to see how that blade being so perfectly set on size where it's just going to always just barely take it will work, but time will tell. So I will obviously come back on that and let you guys know. Real quick, also, if you're wanting to see these baits in action, we're going to be doing 20-minute fishing challenges on all of these on my YouTube. We're also going to be doing a full lure review on each one of these after I've had a chance to fish them and really check them out. So a ton of cool content coming on these. This is not the last time you'll hear about them. I do like that there's a skirt on here instead of a soft plastic. I think sometimes the soft plastic ones, just if it's got like the big frog on the back, they just get too big for me. I like a little bit smaller, more compact. Again, it's a 3/8 ounce. One thing I really love on this is it's got a closed off line tie area. Instead of being open, it's actually wrapped around it. And you guys can see it on the video. But it's really cool that it works that way, because now if you're running, let's say a snap, I don't know why I snapped right there. It's funny. But if you're running a snap, it's a lot easier. It's nice to have that. So you're one of the problems is just, the knot slipping up and getting into the wrong position. Then it just doesn't want to work right. So it has good quality materials. Looks like a nice hook. Very compact size. Supposed to be running pretty true on top. And they've been building baits since 1984. So that is the Head Knocker Buzz Bait from the Croc-O-Gator bait company. Next up comes a true staple if you're a fan of the Tackle Talk podcast. So up next, everyone knows Andrew Hayes loves these, is the Big Joshy swim bait. And I'm actually pumped to get these because I've been looking at buying some. I just didn't want to pay for them and get them shipped here because of what it costs to ship stuff anymore. So I'm pumped that these were included. So these are a 5 count of 3 1/4 inch soft plastic paddle tail swim baits. And they come in the Bass Candy color. And guys, these are an incredible color. It's kind of a clear underside, and then it's got a nice, just kind of like green pumpkin bass color on top with some nice eyes. There's a 5-pack, like I said, and it comes just small little plastic. Says Big Joshy on the front, handcrafted design, superior action, better results, did all their information. So this is one of the ones I've fished, and I've been fishing hard. There's a jig head that we're going to talk about in a bit that I've been throwing it on, but I absolutely love this. So one of my favorite soft plastic swim baits is Rapala's The Mayor. And I like it because Jacob Wheeler designed it with his Crush City lineup to have less of an action. It paddles through, but it's not a big womp womp. It's very it's just a very simple swimming action. It's not this super over the top. And I like it, but Mayors are expensive. And they last okay, but not a ton. And for over $1 a plastic for Rapala Mayors, they don't last nearly as long as they should. Guys, I've been using one of these for the last week, probably about 10 days now since I've had it. And I've probably caught 40 fish on it, and there's not a tear. It is holding up ridiculously. And it's not like the ElizaTech from Z-Man where it's impossible to put on the hook. Slipped right on the hook. Had a nice bait keeper on this hook, which we'll talk about. And it just works perfectly. It matches perfectly with the upcoming jig head we're going to discuss. Again, great action. It's getting absolutely annihilated by fish. Have a really, really, really cool 20-minute fishing challenge video coming out in a couple weeks with that one. So be sure to keep an eye out for it because I caught a ton of fish on this, and you guys will see exactly how well this works. Again, great action. It's a nice subtle action and just gets absolutely toasted by fish. So moving on from there, we have our most expensive bait in the box. And this is one that, again, Andrew Hayes had talked about. He's talked with the maker of this. He's been on the podcast. So I'm not shocked that it's in the box. And this comes from Dark Quarter Customs. It is the DC EVK 1.2 square bill crankbait. It comes in the matte blue craw color, which we'll talk about. It comes in at 0.4 of an ounce and 2.2 inches in length and dives to, I think, 3 to 4 foot. It's a silent rattle with number 6 BKK hooks on the front and the back. So again, nice hooks put onto this crankbait. And you guys, the thing that you're getting out of this more than anything is a ridiculous paint job. I have yet to fish it. But I have opened it up and just admired this bait. And you guys, the paint job is ridiculous. I'm going to request all of you hit pause right here, right now. Once I'm done talking in a second, I'll tell you when. But hit pause, go over to YouTube, and watch the quick YouTube video of me opening this box because you guys have to see the color on this. It is ridiculous. So go ahead and hit pause, and I'll see you in a second. All right, so you guys went over. You guys saw the video. You saw this crankbait looks. It is insane, isn't it? It is wild. Amazing color. Hopefully, if the action's half as good as the color, this is going to be a fantastic crankbait. But it should be at $14 a pop. Again, that's a pretty expensive crankbait, but it's hand painted. I believe they're out of North Carolina is where this guy is. I can't remember his name, but Dark Corner Customs. Be sure to check them out. They have some really cool stuff. Again, Silent Rattle, number 6 size on it. And I'm pumped to try this out. Ooh, and we have not been talking about seasons to use. My bad. So we just talked about the square bill. That's going to be used in spring. Going to the popper, that's for summer. The buzzbait was for fall. And the Big Joshy is winter. So sorry, I kind of forgot to talk about the seasons for each one. So again, going through in order of what we've done so far, we started the Picasso Lures. That one was for summer. Then from there we went to the 70s Pop Star. That is recommended to be used during, let's find it, summer from Robusto Lures. After that, the Croco Gator Buzzbait is for fall. The Big Joshy Swim Baits is winter. And moving back to the Dark Corner Customs Square Bill, that is a spring bait. So that's where we are. That's where we are at for those baits on when you should be using them. So that is our 7th item. And guys, I believe we had 13. Yeah, we had 13 different items in here. So we're just over halfway done with the things that are in here. Again, ridiculous amount of stuff in this box. Next up, we have our second and final wire bait. We had our buzz bait, and now we have a spinner bait. This comes from Martin's Custom Lures. It's their Northern Forge Series spinner bait. It's a 3/8 ounce double willow blade spinner bait in the green shad color, and it comes in at $10.49. And you guys, this is the first one I decided to throw out of the box. It is fall. They recommend that this get thrown. Let's see. I would bet in the fall, if it says. Trying to find it here, and I can't. It doesn't say, but guys, it's a fall bait. I mean, come on, it's a spinner bait. You throw it in the fall, you throw it in the spring. It's a ton of fun. And you guys, this bait is ridiculous. The coloring on it is exceptionally nice. It mixes well with the Big Joshy baits that we talked about already. Those are the ones that go well on the back of the chatterbait. There's a nice bait keeper on it, a nice hook. It's handmade here in the United States. And it has just been excellent so far. I've been out fishing with it. I've caught a ton of fish on it. It has a nice bait keeper, like I said. It also, what's nice is it has a very distinct feel to it. So you can feel when something's wrong when you're retrieving it. If there's grass on it, you can feel it. But I've had no problems with it bending out. It's nice quality, handmade, hand-tied, good color baits. Hopefully, you guys, I want you guys to try these out. And again, $10.49 for this bait. Alrighty, so next up, we're going to move back into some terminal tackle here for a second. We have 2 things of terminal tackle coming up. So we're going back, and we talked about a jig head, if you guys remember. And that comes from, again, if you have ever listened to the Tackle Talk podcast. And if you haven't, go check it out. Andrew does a great job over there. But the Jig Masters Perfected Swim Bait Sled Head. Comes in a silver color. It's a 4-pack of 1/8 ounce jig heads with a very nice spiral bait keeper at $5.99 for the 4 count. These match up perfectly with, as we were talking about, those Big Joshy swim baits. They fit beautifully. My thoughts on these: excellent jig head. Has a nice size, a nice profile, holds the plastics on very well. Again, I'm not getting pantsed when I fish. My baits are staying up. It's a very nice bait keeper on it. A very nice sharp hook. I've caught a ton of fish so far. A couple little marks from running into rocks, but I mean nothing that I'm like, man, this thing's getting tore up. Very good quality jig head so far. I'm very pumped with them. Again, a nice bait keeper on it. And there's not much to talk about there. Again, it's just kind of terminal tackle. But like I said, it's the 1/8 ounce Perfected Swim Bait Sled Head from Jig Masters. So moving on to our final piece of terminal tackle here today comes from Wicked Weights. And these are a 4-pack of 3/16 ounce tungsten worm bullet weights in the green pumpkin color. These are a company out of New Jersey. They do make them in China. But every tungsten weight in the world is made in China, guys. Don't be fooled. They're hard to make. They're expensive to make. China is where they make them. So what? It's a 4-pack of tungsten weights at $6.29. Again, a nice inclusion to have. No knock for this being made out of country because the high temperatures to make it. It's just nice that he included tungsten instead of just normal lead weights. Not much to talk about here, just some tungsten weights. But that is our final piece of terminal tackle. So moving on to our 11th bait here, our 11th item in here. Our last three are all baits. Here we have the Garage Tech brand bait. It's Garage Tech Bait Co. Flipping and Skipping Jig. So like I said, the Garage Tech Bait Company Flipping and Skipping Jig. This comes in at the 3/8 ounce size in green pumpkin. It has a 4/0 mustad hook. It's hand tied in the United States. And guys, this is a really, really cool looking jig. I'm not a huge jig guy. This price comes in at $5.99 as well, and is designed to be thrown in the summer, which makes sense. Not a big jig guy, but this is definitely going to get me into it. I'm pumped to try this out. I haven't taken it out of the package yet. It's not a resealable package. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, so I'm keeping it nice, keeping it put away. But it should be good to use it with some trailers that we're going to talk about in a moment. But it is just a nice, good-looking bait. It's got a good amount of skirt. It's got a nice hook guard on it. Again, a good 4/0 mustad hook on it. And then a good just normal green pumpkin color. Nothing too fancy. But again, $5.99 for this jig. Not a horrible price on a jig either. So pretty happy with that inclusion. Finally, we're going to move on to our last two items, and these are both going to be soft plastics. So we're going to start off with what would be the trailer on that Garage Tech Bait Company Flipping and Skipping Jig. And it's our Black Label Custom Soft Plastics brand Craws. They come in the color of, get ready for this, Twisted Green Pumpkin Purple. It is a green pumpkin purple combo. Not every bait looks the same. They all look a bit different, which is really cool. It's a 3.75 inch 8 count of baits for $5.99. So you're getting about 75 cents of plastic here for, these very nice, non-big brand soft plastics. And they're well priced craws. They're nice, compact. The actual pinchers have nice flanges on them, similar to a Rage craw. Not a ton of big appendages hanging off the side. Pretty simple craw, which I think ought to do pretty well. Looks like it's going to be really nice on some jigs, especially the one we just talked about. Has a nice scent. Can't quite tell what it is, but there's a little bit of a scent to the plastic as well. Comes in a nice package. The packaging is really cool. I wish it came in the clamshell packaging. I like clamshell packaging for soft plastics. I've gotten on that train, especially if you have something like any sort of like a flange, if it's not just like a stick bait, just to keep, protect the integrity of the bait. But it all came in nice, quality. Doesn't look like anything's messed up, so I should be able to fish all 8 baits here. Again, $5.99. That goes on. That can get paired onto the 3/0 EWG we were talking about. That can get thrown on to the skip jig. You can throw this on the back of like the Shock Pro, or the Shock Blade Pro, the chatterbait. So a ton of places you can put this on. So I'm really pumped about that. And finally, on to our last item in the box. We are almost done with this box. This comes from Magnum Baits, established in 2018. It's going to be their Senko. So there's got to be a Senko in here. You can't have a box without Senkos. The color is California Thunder Cabbage, which is kind of like a greenish with some black and purple flake in it. It's 5-inch stick baits. It's a 10-pack for $6.99. So 70 cents a bait for stick baits really isn't bad, especially for small, American-made company. I'm pretty pumped about that. My thoughts are very similar to the craw. Nice color, decently priced. There's some salt in there, so it ought to float a little bit. This will be good for the drop shot. This definitely be really good with drop shotting. You can throw it on the 3/0 EWGs. You can wacky rig this. So just kind of anything you can use a Senko for. Again, it's kind of a greenish color with the purple flake. Be sure to check that color out. It's really, really cool. So that is everything that was in the box, you guys. That was all 13 items plus the 2 pamphlets in there. So now we've discussed everything. Let's go ahead and do an overall summary here. So the total value on the box that I did not disclose earlier was $110 value. That includes the $5 gift card in it and the cost of all of the baits. So what did I pay for this box? This box was $79.99 plus taxes and shipping, which totaled out to be $89.24 charged to my Visa. Shipped to my door in 3 days in a nice curated box with some cool personal touches in it. So in theory, saved about $20 buying this box, or about 18%. So a decent deal actually for these handmade baits. They weren't cheap in-house made in China baits that are going to break after a day. Because sometimes that happens. I got a cool curated box with cool lures, brands I've never heard of. Some I have, but others I haven't. And a lot of lures I'm probably going to start buying pretty regularly because they are good quality. This box was a really, really cool idea, I think. I think Andrew really killed it with what he put together. I think Dark Horse Tackle did a great job packaging and shipping it out. The little personal touches, again, really cool. I like the little pamphlet there from Andrew talking about, how he would rig it, what season to throw it all in. Oh, and sorry, the crawl was in spring and the stick bait was in summer. So that's everything. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked on that. But a really, really cool box. I really enjoyed it. A nice, collage of baits here. You're not just getting, some Guggen brand stick baits and calling it a day. It's like, no, we're getting, handmade baits that are, someone took the time and got the color right and got the, the mold right and did it all the right way and made their own packaging, and that kind of stuff's cool to me. So again, I look forward to purchasing more lures from Dark Horse Tackle, especially more boxes, maybe getting some sort of subscription service now that I've gotten to try them out. Also, big shout out to Andrew Hayes for putting this box together with the pamphlet and all the info about the baits. That was a really, really cool touch. So, all right, everybody, that's going to be this week's episode for you all. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. This was my most expensive episode thus far at, $90. But I bought it anyways. I wanted to try it out, and it's cool that I got to make an episode out of it. So, hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the episode. And if you have enjoyed it, please be sure to drop a positive review for us wherever you listen, whether that be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, YouTube, or Amazon. Drop a review if you can. Drop a follow or a subscription. It does help the show to grow. That's how it gets recommended to other people. We're starting to grow a little bit, actually, which has been cool to see. We weren't growing a ton, and it's really cool to kind of see some explosion here. So hopefully it keeps building. Also, be sure to check out my YouTube if you're not already on it. Listening to this, it's Tyler Plackey Fishing. It's the same name for my Instagram as well. Again, Tyler Plackey Fishing, all one word. You can see what I've been up to. You can DM me suggestions for the show, ask questions for the tackle box. You can talk with me. Whatever you want to do, but you can hop on there. Keep a lookout on my YouTube. Coming up, we're going to be fishing these baits. I'm going to be reviewing them. We're going to do a lot of stuff with these baits. So hopefully they'll be a big part of the show for a bit and the YouTube channel. So thank you all so much for listening every week, dedicating your time to the show. I really do appreciate all of your support, positive words that you've sent in. Be sure to write in questions again for the tackle box because that's coming back soon. So yeah, and until next time, you guys, tight lines, y'all.